Part 16, the one and only Ivan. Now, this one is titled Ad, A-D, like an advertisement. Good news, huh? Bob says when Mac's out of earshot. Looks like you might be getting some more supplies. I don't want to paint for Mac, I say. I'm painting for Ruby. You can do both, Bob says. You're an artist, after all. While I watch the movie, I come up with a new hiding place for my paintings. Maybe. I think I could fold them once they're dry and stuff them into knot tags. So remember, that's the stuffed animal. It's a long movie. At the end, the sheriff marries the woman who owns the saloon, which is the watering hole for humans, but not for horses. It's been a long time since I've seen a Western that was also a romance. I like that movie, I say to Bob. Too many horses, not enough dogs, he comments. An ad comes on, so a commercial. I don't understand ads. They're not like Westerns. When you know who the bad guy is supposed to be, and they're hardly ever romantic unless the man and the woman are brushing their teeth before they face lick, which must mean kissing. I watched the ad for underarm deodorant. How do you know who's who if they don't smell? I asked Bob. Humans reek, Bob replies. That means smell really bad. They just don't notice because they have incompetent noses. Another ad comes on. I see children and their parents buying tickets, just like the tickets Mac sells. They laugh, enjoying their ice cream cones as they walk down a path. They pause to watch two sleepy-eyed cats, huge and striped, dozing in long grass. Tigers, I know because I saw them on the nature show once. Words flash on the screen, accompanied by a drawing of a red giraffe. The giraffe vanishes, and I see a human family staring at another kind of family. Elephants, old and young. They're surrounded by rocks and trees and grass and room to wander. It's a wild cage, a zoo. I see where it begins and where it ends. The wall that says, you are and this... I see where it begins and where it ends. The wall that says, you are this and we are that, and that is how it will always be. It's not a perfect place. Even in just a few fleeting seconds on my TV screen, I can see that. A perfect place would not need walls. But it's the place I need. I gaze at the elephants and then I look over at Ruby, small and alone. Before the ad ends, I try to remember every last detail. Rocks, trees, tails, trunks. It's the picture I need to paint. Imagining. It's different now when I paint. I'm not painting what I see in front of me, a banana, an apple. I'm painting what I see in my head, things that don't exist, at least not yet. Knot tag. I pull out knot tag stuffing. Carefully, I fill her with my paintings, hiding them so Mac won't sell them. She's large, bigger than Bob, but I still have to crumple a few of them. Bob tries to settle on for her nap. You've killed her, he complains. Oh, that's right, that's where Bob was sleeping. I had to, I say. I miss your stomach, Bob admits. It's so spacious, meaning big. When Julia arrives, she noticed that I've used up my paints and paper. Wow, Julia shakes her head. You are one serious artist, Ivan. This one's titled One More Thing. There's a couple of pictures. So there you have Ivan doing his artwork and you have Ruby taking a nap. My finger painting has sold for $40 with frame. Mac is happy. He brings me a huge pile of paper and big buckets of paint. Get to work, he says. I paint for Mac during the day and for Ruby at night. I nap when I can. But my nighttime picture isn't quite right. It's big, that's for sure. When I place all the pieces on the floor in my cage side by side, the cement is almost completely covered. So like the whole floor in your room. That'd be a lot of paper. But something is still missing. Bob says I'm crazy. There's Ruby, he says, pointing with his nose. There's the zoo. There are other elephants. What's wrong with it? I need one more thing, I say. Bob groans. You're being a temperamental artist. What could be missing? I stare at the huge expanse of colors and shapes. I don't know how to explain to Bob that it isn't done yet. I'll just have to wait, I say at last. Something will come to me, and then I'll know my painting is finally ready. The 7 o'clock show. During the last show of the day, Ruby seems tired. When she stumbles, Mac reaches for the claw stick. I tense, waiting for her to strike back. Ruby doesn't even flinch. She just keeps plodding along, and after a while, Snickers jumps onto her back. 12. I lie in my cage with Bob on my stomach. We're watching Julia do her homework. She doesn't seem to be enjoying it. I can tell because she is sighing more than usual. Again, for the 100th time, or maybe the 1000th, I wonder what is missing from my painting. And for the 100th time, or maybe the 1000th, I don't have an answer. Dad, Julia says as George passes by with a mop, can I ask you a question? May I, George corrects. Ask away. Julia glances down at a piece of paper. What is the difference between the word spelled P-R-I-N-C-I-P-A-L, so principal, and the one spelled P-R-I-N-C-I-P-L-E, principal? The first one is the head of the school, like Mrs. Jonke, like Miss Garcia. The second one is a belief that helps you know what's right or wrong. He smiles. For example, it's my principles to do my daughter's homework for her, or it's against my principles to do my daughter's homework for her. Julia groans. If I'm going to be an artist when I grow up, why do I need to know how to spell? With a laugh, George heads off. Poor Julia, I think. Gorillas get by just fine without learning how to spell. All those endless letters, those sticks and circles and zigzags, filling up books and magazines, billboards and candy wrappers. Words. Humans love their words. I leap up. Bob goes flying straight into my pool. A word. You know how I feel about wet feet, Bob yells. He scrambles out of the water, shaking each foot in dismay. I look out my window at the billboard. I can still hear Mac's voice in my head. Come to the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, home of the one and only Ivan Mighty Silverback. I count to 12 and then I count again, just to be sure.